The change was sudden. Utter darkness descended upon the earth. No gentle fade, no twilight's embrace. One moment, the sky was a brilliant blue, the sun high above. The next, an impenetrable blackness swallowed the world. Birds ceased their songs, confused and afraid. Animals retreated to their dens, sensing the unnatural shift. The air, once alive with the hum of life, grew still and cold. Panic, like a virus, began to spread. Whispers turned to shouts, then to screams. The day the sky went dark, the world held its breath. An unsettling quiet fell over London. Gone was the usual cacophony of city life, replaced by a hushed, fearful murmur. People huddled in their homes, peering out windows as if expecting an explanation to emerge from the darkness. Rumors, like venomous snakes, slithered through the city. Some whispered of divine retribution, others of an alien invasion. Every explanation, no matter how outlandish, found fertile ground in the soil of fear. The government, caught equally off guard, struggled to maintain order. Their reassurances, broadcast on crackling radios, rang hollow against the backdrop of the unending night. Deep within the Greenwich Observatory, Dr. Eleanor Reynolds, the astronomer royal, stared in disbelief at the readings before her. Her instruments, normally attuned to the music of the cosmos, now screamed a symphony of chaos. The sun, the faithful timekeeper of Earth, had vanished. No solar flares, no sunspots, no trace of its existence. It was as if someone had simply erased it from the fabric of reality. Dr. Reynolds picked up the phone, a cold dread gripping her heart. This was no ordinary blackout. This was something far more profound, far more terrifying. The news from observatories around the globe was the same. The sky was empty. No stars twinkled in the void, no distant galaxies offered their faint light. The universe, once a tapestry of light and wonder, was now a canvas of pure black. Then, the unthinkable. A faint distortion, a ripple in the darkness was detected. As more telescopes focused on this anomaly, the truth began to dawn. Something massive, something unfathomably large was hovering above the earth, blocking out the heavens. What was this celestial leviathan? Where did it come from? And most importantly, why had it cast the earth into eternal darkness? Section 5. Silence from the void. Days bled into weeks, the perpetual night stretching on with no end in sight. Desperate attempts were made to communicate with the object, to understand its purpose. Radio waves, light signals, even mathematical equations were beamed into the void, but the only response was silence. The object, cold and unresponsive, remained a silent sentinel, casting its long, dark shadow upon the earth. Hope, once a flickering candle in the darkness, began to dwindle. Was this the end? Had humanity's time on this planet run its course, extinguished beneath an uncaring, silent sky? Yet even in the face of despair, the human spirit refused to be extinguished. The darkness that enveloped the world was not enough to snuff out the light within. People found solace in each other, in the warmth of shared moments, and in the collective strength that emerged from unity. They gathered around makeshift lanterns and campfires, their faces illuminated by the flickering flames, their hearts by the shared hope. Scientists worked tirelessly, pooling their knowledge, searching for answers. In laboratories that never slept, they analyzed data, ran experiments, and pushed the boundaries of human understanding. Their dedication was unwavering, driven by the belief that a solution was within reach. They knew that every discovery, no matter how small, was a step towards reclaiming the world they once knew. Engineers, drawing on reserves of ingenuity, devised new ways to generate power, to grow food, and to sustain life. They worked on solar panels that could capture even the faintest glimmers of light, and on generators that could provide energy in the darkest of times. Their innovations were not just technical marvels, but lifelines for communities struggling to adapt. To adapt to this new sunless existence, they turned to indoor hydroponic farms and advanced agricultural technologies. These innovations allowed them to grow food without sunlight, ensuring that no one went hungry. The greenhouses filled with vibrant plants became symbols of resilience and hope, showing that life could thrive even in the most challenging conditions. Communities came together, sharing resources, offering comfort and support. In the face of adversity, they found strength in unity. Neighbors helped each other, shared their food, and provided a shoulder to lean on. The bonds that formed were unbreakable, forged in the crucible of shared hardship. The darkness, in its own way, had brought them closer. It had stripped away the superficial, leaving only the essential connections that bound them together. Laughter and conversation filled the night, a testament to the enduring human spirit. In these moments they found joy and solace, a reminder that they were not alone. It had reminded them of their shared humanity, their common struggles, and their collective dreams. The diversity among them became a source of strength, as they learned from each other and grew together. Smiles and comforting gestures became the universal language of hope and resilience. Their resilience in the face of the unknown was nothing short of remarkable. They faced each challenge head-on, collaborating and innovating to overcome obstacles. Every project completed, every problem solved, was a victory for the human spirit. Perhaps there was hope after all. The horizon, though dark, held the promise of a new dawn. People looked towards it with hope in their hearts, believing that a brighter future was possible. The sunrise, even if just a faint glow, was a symbol of the light that still existed within them. Perhaps humanity, like a seed buried deep within the earth, would find a way to survive, to grow, and to flourish. The seedling, reaching towards the artificial light, was a metaphor for their own journey. It showed that even in the absence of the sun, life could find a way. To reach for the light, to strive for something greater, was an intrinsic part of their nature. The hands reaching towards the sky were a symbol of their unyielding spirit, their desire to rise above the darkness. Even in the absence of the sun, they found ways to illuminate their world. The bright artificial lights that lit up the community garden were a testament to their ingenuity and determination. In this well-lit space, they thrived, proving that the human spirit could shine brightly, even in the darkest of times. Then one day, the sky moved. Not the object itself, but something around it. Thousands upon thousands of points of light, like fireflies against a velvet cloth, began to appear, dancing around the edges of the massive sphere. The initial reaction was one of awe and wonder. Could these be stars returning after their long absence? Was the object finally moving, revealing the heavens once more? But as the lights grew brighter, as they began to streak across the sky, a chilling realization dawned. These were not stars, but something far more ominous. The objects, now burning bright, entered the Earth's atmosphere, leaving trails of fire in their wake. They streaked across the sky like celestial torches, illuminating the night with an otherworldly glow. The air crackled with energy as these mysterious entities made their descent, capturing the attention of all who gazed upward. They were not asteroids nor meteors. These were not the random debris of the cosmos, but something far more deliberate, more intentional. The skies, once a canvas of tranquility, now bore witness to an unprecedented event. They were ships, sleek and silver, descending upon the earth with an eerie grace. Their surfaces reflected the moonlight, casting an almost ethereal glow. These vessels moved with a precision that defied natural phenomena, as if guided by an unseen hand. Panic, long dormant, roared back to life. The streets filled with the sounds of chaos as people ran, their faces masks of fear and confusion. The sudden appearance of these ships shattered the fragile peace, plunging the world into a state of hysteria. Were these the harbingers of destruction? The question hung heavy in the air, unspoken yet palpable. The ominous presence of the ships cast a shadow over the hearts of all who saw them, a foreboding sense of doom that was impossible to ignore. Had the object above been a shield, protecting Earth from a far greater threat? The idea seemed both comforting and terrifying. If these ships were here to protect, what could be so dangerous that it required such guardianship? The mind raced with possibilities, each more unsettling than the last. As the first ship touched down, its hatch sliding open with a hiss, a figure emerged. The air seemed to hold its breath, the world pausing in collective anticipation. What would step forth from this vessel? Friend or foe? Savior or conqueror? Tall and slender, with skin like polished obsidian and eyes that glowed with an inner light, it stood at the threshold of its vessel, gazing out at the terrified humans. Its presence was both mesmerizing and intimidating, a being of undeniable power and mystery. The fate of humanity seemed to hang in the balance, teetering on the edge of an uncertain future. The being raised its hand, a gesture of peace, and began to speak. Its movements were slow and deliberate, each motion carrying a weight of ancient wisdom and profound sorrow. The air around it seemed to shimmer with an otherworldly energy, a silent testament to the gravity of the moment. Its voice, a melodious hum, resonated deep within the souls of all who heard it. The sound was unlike anything ever experienced by human ears, a harmonious blend of frequencies that evoked both awe and a deep sense of connection. It was as if the very essence of the universe was speaking through this being. It spoke of a distant world, of a dying sun, a place once vibrant and full of life now reduced to a shadow of its former glory. The sun, once a beacon of hope and energy, was now a fading ember, casting long, mournful shadows over the desolate landscape. The being's words painted a picture of a civilization on the brink of extinction, struggling to survive against insurmountable odds, of a desperate journey across the cosmos in search of a new home. Their voyage was fraught with peril, navigating through the uncharted territories of space, facing unknown dangers and the ever-present threat of failure. Yet, despite the overwhelming challenges, they pressed on, driven by the hope of finding a sanctuary where their people could thrive once more. The object above, it explained, was not a prison but an ark, a beacon of hope amidst the vast darkness of space. It was a marvel of engineering and ingenuity, designed to carry the last remnants of their once great civilization. This ark was their lifeline, a vessel that held the dreams and aspirations of an entire species, a vessel carrying the last remnants of a once great civilization. Within its walls were the echoes of a rich history, the knowledge and culture of a people who had once reached for the stars. The ark was more than just a ship. It was a symbol of resilience and the enduring spirit of survival. They had come to Earth not as conquerors but as refugees, seeking a new beginning under the warmth of a different sun. Their arrival was not an invasion, but a plea for sanctuary, a humble request for a chance to rebuild and coexist. They brought with them the hope of a new dawn, a future where two civilizations could learn from each other and grow together, seeking sanctuary beneath a new sun. The being's eyes, filled with a mixture of hope and desperation, conveyed a silent plea for understanding and compassion. They had traveled across the stars, enduring unimaginable hardships, all for the chance to find a place where they could once again flourish. The day the sky went dark, it marked not the end, but a new beginning. It was a moment of profound significance, a turning point in the history of both species. The darkness was not a harbinger of doom, but a canvas upon which a new story could be written, one of unity and shared destiny. A day when humanity, face to face with the vastness of the universe, discovered that it was not alone. The realization brought with it a sense of wonder and humility, a reminder of the infinite possibilities that lay beyond the stars. It was a day that redefined the human experience, expanding the boundaries of what was known and what could be imagined. The day the stars fell, they brought with them not destruction, but a promise of collaboration, of shared knowledge and mutual respect. The falling stars were a sign of hope, a celestial message that the future was bright and filled with potential, but the promise of a shared future, a future where the lessons of the past would guide the steps of tomorrow, where the mistakes of old would not be repeated. It was a future built on the foundations of trust and cooperation, a testament to the enduring spirit of both species, a future written not in the light of a single sun, but in the glow of 1,000 stars. Each star represented a new opportunity, a new beginning, a chance to create something beautiful and lasting. It was a future that embraced diversity and celebrated the unique contributions of every being. But in the glow of 1,000 stars, the night sky, filled with countless points of light, was a reminder of the vastness of the universe and the endless possibilities it held. It was a future that promised adventure, discovery, and the boundless potential of a united galaxy.